Nuclear energy, a resource with nearly infinite potential. Nuclear energy can power entire cities with ease. It is the most energy-efficient resource in the world. However, it's not all great for all of them. For example, nuclear bombs can decimate entire cities in seconds and have after effects that can last upwards of thousands of years. Nuclear bombs were a revolution on the battlefield. But after their first and only use during the Second World War, people realized its terrifyingly huge potential as it destroyed the entire cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan. It was immediately banned from warfare by the UN. It is now a common thought that nuclear warfare is one of the many possible ends to our world. Nuclear energy, however, can go from ultimate destruction to vastly beneficial. All you need is the knowledge and capability to use it right. It is a common misconception that nuclear power plants are a major threat to the environment and everything near them. However, when you really look at the stats, you realize the good far outweighs the bad, and that the chance of a nuclear meltdown are vastly slim. After careful studies, scientists have concluded that roughly 510 nuclear power plants in the world will have a meltdown every 40 to 80 years, and that the chances of any one nuclear power plant melting down are 1 million to 1. Nuclear energy is also very clean. It has practically no contribution to air pollution and very little contribution to water pollution or any other forms of pollution. Well, what's coming out of those massive smokestacks? Well, the answer is steam. Harmless steam used to cool the nuclear reactors. It's really hard to go against the benefits of nuclear energy. Uranium is also the backbone material for nuclear energy. It is also the most energy-efficient resource on the planet. Uranium can produce roughly 2 to 3 million times the amount of energy as coal or natural gas. Our current storage of uranium at the current rate of consumption will last 200 years. A kilogram of uranium can produce 24 million kilowatts. About 2.3 tons of uranium could power New York City for a whole year. A block the size of a semi-truck could power New York for over 20 years. While nuclear energy is superior to all other energy sources in almost every way, the old saying rings true: all good things come at a cost, and nuclear energy has a big one. Building one nuclear power plant costs nearly $2 to $4 billion. It costs roughly $2 billion to maintain it, if you have the fuel to power it, that is. The cost of 1 kilogram of uranium costs $7 million. For reference, the same amount of gold is worth roughly $38,000, and diamonds are around 1 million. Nuclear power, however, is not fully understood by the masses. In fact, many people do not even know how these kinds of powers work. Many people do not realize that there are actually two types of nuclear power: fusion and fission, both of which provide massive amounts of energy, but are both very different. Nuclear fission is when atoms of a nuclear isotope is split into two, releasing massive amounts of energy for us to harvest and convert into electricity. The other nuclear reaction type is nuclear fusion. Fusion is an experimental version of nuclear power. It involves combining atoms instead of splitting them, and does not create as much byproduct waste as nuclear fission. All in all, nuclear energy can produce massive amounts of energy, but is harmful when it is let out or not used properly. It is also very expensive, but its benefits are well worth the cost. Overall, I think that nuclear energy is a great power source, and we should be using it more because it does not pollute the environment as much as some other resources we have.